Attention. Attention.
I need your help for some votes. And you know what? It's absolutely free to do. See, I was invited to submit a 2-minute sample of Lyrical Spit to enter a podcast contest. There will be judges, but this vote is for the People's Choice category. You could go to lyricalspit.com, and about halfway down the webpage, you will find a link that says Vote. That will take you to the website so you could cast your vote for the Lyrical Spit submission. Please spread the word. Thank you, and I really do appreciate you. Ahlan, beautifuls. Thank you all for putting up with me. And thank you for all the get well wishes still pouring in. Most of you know I've been laid up out of action, and I've been doing my best producing my Lyrical Spit shows, and on the days there are no Lyrical Spit, I give you my daily spit, my uplifting and inspirational quotes. Hopefully, if you're feeling down and out, I could bring you right back up. I have another blast from the past I want to share with you. This was recorded on December 19th, 2014. I had Abdullah the Butcher and Kevin Sullivan on my show when I called it Dobashi's Radio Takedown. It was episode 25. Now, my show has come a long way. Better audio, better delivery on my part. I hope you enjoy these two legends telling stories and reliving memories. Side note, I am honored and privileged to have two great minds in this sport to pick at any time. Also, it's an honor to have Abdullah the Butcher pass down his butcher moniker down to me. Take note, us three got heated at the end of the show. Now, before I turn into a sadistic lunatic, I better calm myself down and give you my daily spit. Now, it's time for your daily spit. Judge your success by what you had to give up in order to get it. By the way, you're about to hear my son Issa singing Footloose to open the show. So one day I was driving. My son Issa started busting out singing Footloose, so I recorded him. Priceless memories. Enjoy the show.
Cut footloose, cut footloose. Kick on your Sunday shoes. Jack, kick back on your Sunday shoes. Cut loose, Louis. Something. Just cut loose. Kick on your Sunday shoes. Cut loose. Kick on your Sunday shoes. Jack, kick back on your Sunday.
This is a Say Saha Dynamite Productions. This is recorded live from my studios in Tacoma, Washington, and I am a proud member of the World Powers. I'm an HPG tournament champion and a 3 times UIWA North American Heavyweight Champion, and I'm also in the Pro Wrestling Illustrated's magazine's Top 500. I'm your host of
Dobashi's Talk Show. No, Dobashi's Radio Takedown.
I'm the Beast from the Middle East, Yemeni Maniac, the modern-day Sheikh, Diafullah, the Butcher Dobashi. I love bidding my opponents for your and my entertainment purposes, but now I'm entertaining you right here. After all, you do watch sports to get entertained, don't you? With special guests and talks on all combative sports and entertainment, and a soapbox for you to speak on anything. If you need to settle a problem, you could do it right here. Anything could happen on Dobashi's Radio Takedown. Okay, ring the bell. Let's get the show started.
You want me to?
How do you feel? Love for real. How you want me to? How do you feel? Love for real. Got some question I gotta ask ya. Put your hands up on the floor. Okay, let's go. Let's go to the floor low, let's go. Baby, you got a better go. Oh mama, tell me how you feel. The snow queen, next tomorrow I wanna see you cry. I never seen someone like you before in my life. If you with me, that sounds sweet, special. Baby, I got nothing. I show you my secret, unforgettable. I feel how you feel, baby, my fly. Make me feel happy when you're around. Where are you tonight? I need you around. I feel when you're around. How you want me to? How do you feel? Love for real. How you want me to? How do you feel? Love for real. How you want me to?
This is Friday, December 19th, 2014, episode 25. Welcome back to Dobashi's Radio Takedown. I want to give a quick shout-out to my World Power Brothers, the IGWA Puerto Rican Heavyweight Champion, Chief Adakula Kula, Petroff, Damon Scythe, our other members, the Mastermind, Gary the Retard, our musician of the World Powers, Sick Vicious, and our official comedian, DJ Lewis. We have a great show today. Road Trip 2, Abdullah the Butcher and Kevin Sullivan. See, I came up with this concept. I think it was back in episode 1. I had Bobby Fulton and Tracy Smothers on the show. You know, back in the territory days, there was it was our classroom. The rookies would listen on those long road trips while the veterans would talk shop, tell stories, etc. Well, the territory days are all gone, but we have Dobashi's Radio Takedown. And don't forget about the big HPG show tomorrow, HPG show 6 tournament. And, I'm going to stop flapping my gums. We'll be right back, and we'll give Abdullah the Butcher, the Kevin Sullivan, a call. WWE Hall of Famer and international superstars. We'll be right back after the break.
Help keep this show free by buying some of our swag of apparel at butcherspit.com. We have t-shirts, hoodies, and even baby onesies. That's butcherspit.com.
Welcome back. We are here back on Dobashi's Radio Takedown. Let me go ahead and give Taskmaster Kevin Sullivan a call right here. It's dialing. And let's see what's going on. This is what happens on live on the air. Anything could happen. Let's try it now. Oh, my computer's not freezing. Here we go. Call failed. Well, you know what? Let me try to get Abdullah on the line right here. If not, don't worry. We're going to get these gentlemen on. There we go.
Hello?
Abdullah.
Hello? Yes, what's going on?
This is Dobashi. You're on Dobashi's Radio Takedown. And before you rip one into me, I just want to say you're back on the air. We're going to have Kevin Sullivan on. But real quick, I want to talk about Flowers While You Live. And you can send the donations to Abdullah's House of Ribs, 2387 Fairburn Road, Southwest, Atlanta, Georgia, 30331. So I wanted to get that out. And yes, we're going to, right now, we're going to go ahead and try to get Kevin Sullivan on. Let me try real quick here. That's what happens when you go on live. Anything could happen, but you know what? We're professionals. We are professionals. Here we go. 1 second.
Okay.
Hello, Kevin Sullivan. This is Dobashi and Dobashi's Radio. Oh, that was Abdullah. 1 second.
Hello?
Kevin Sullivan. Yes. This is
This is Dobashi from Dobashi's Radio Takedown. Well, how you doing, brother?
Good, brother. How are you, Dobashi?
Good.
What's going on?
Good. We got Abdullah on the line, and I just want to say I want to give you guys a proper introduction. I am honored to have both of you on my show. Last time we were all together, it was the first time I met both of you at the same time. It was early 2000 in Flint, Michigan. And I want to say from the bottom of my heart, I just want to say thank both of you for letting me pick your brains, even if Abdullah and I don't see eye to eye after his restaurant incident. And back in episode 1, I did a thing called Road Trip Run with Bobby Fulton and Tracy Smothers, where I let them talk just like the territory days, because that's how us, the rookies, learned, was wrestling one-on-one on the long road trip. So it was a success, and I figured what two people, great masterminds as you and Abdullah the Butcher and you, Kevin Sullivan, to do this journey and this ride so people could listen to you.
Well, thank you for putting me over, but the smartest of all of us is Abdullah the Butcher. He's there smiling and grinning because he knows I'm right. I mean, I could tell you, every time I look at my left hand, my left pinky, I think of Abdullah. When
What I hit you with the hammer?
You try to
Yes.
bust me open in Greensboro with the bell, and I put up my hand, and you broke my finger. If you had hit my head, I would have had blood into my boots.
I love it.
Let me tell you about Abdullah, how influential he was to my career.
Okay.
I got over pretty good in Atlanta on an angle with Austin Idol. And Idol was a heel, I was a babyface. And when we got through with that angle, Idol, he was a babyface, and I still hated him. Well, he was working against Mark Lewin, and Abdullah was supposed to run in. And they wanted me to run in and jump on Abdullah. And Ole Anderson gave the thing, and Abdullah, being straight up like he is, said, I don't know if I can sell. He said, no disrespect to you, but I don't think I can sell for him. He's too small. I was only about 210 pounds at the time, okay?
Right.
And I said, well, I can make a comeback, Abby. He said, no, yeah, you're just not big enough for me to sell. I said, okay. So Ole said, go ahead and do it anyway. So Abdullah was running to the ring, Mark sticking the shit out of Idol. I run and cut Abdullah off halfway down the aisle. And I lay into Abdullah as hard as I can. And Abby, to his credit, says, keep coming, kid, keep coming. Got a wild set to, blood everywhere. We get back, we chase Abdullah and Lewin off. Me and Idol, who had hated each other, finally shook hands. I get back to the dressing room. The first guy meeting me was Abdullah the Butcher, and he said, kid, I made a mistake. We're going to draw some money, and we did. And the second thing is, when I was that way, when I started out, I was a flying, drop kicking, not like today, but in those days it was pretty, I could do the ankle head scissors, the regular head scissors, the monkey flips and land on your back. Well, I'd go out and do that on like the third match. And I'd see Abdullah come in and get color and taking people and smashing them into chairs and beating them up and not giving them a thing. And I'm watching them and I'm saying, Jesus Christ, I mean, blah, blah, blah. And he's going home with all the money. So one night, we were in different, Abdullah worked all over, but I was working Florida and San Antonio at the same time. So I was in San Antonio, and I was at my gimmick that I was a heel, and Abdullah was a heel, and I don't know if we were tag team partners or Abby was on last, and I was on right before him. But anyway, we had to catch a plane early the next morning. And we're sitting in the bar having a cocktail, and I looked at him and I said, Abdullah, I hated you for years because I busted my ass and I thought you were just a gimmick. I said, the way you work is a lot harder than the way I used to work. It's hard to do this. And he laughed like hell. Looked at the guy, leaned back in the chair, and said, you know, kid, this is how it's done. So I have a lot of utmost respect for Abdullah the Butcher. He helped me quite, and he doesn't even know it. He helped me quite.
Oh, I know it. We were sitting in the bar. And we were drinking,
Yep.
and you looked at me, and this is what you said. I never did like you, the way my body is, my arms and all this stuff, and I can do this and I can do that. And you go in there and you do a thing, but he says, Abdullah, I learned your style. And from that day on, well, me and him was always friends anyways, but from that day on, he made nothing but money. And then he even overpowered Mark Lewin. Mark Lewin made him a partner, right? And he overpowered Mark Lewin because what he was doing, like with his eyes and all this stuff like that, right? The people said, well, damn, see, this guy's doing it better, and the way he's moving and shit like that. But this is one guy. When I say Sullivan was always, in my opinion, a friend. He had big arms, big legs, big everything. But the main part about it was this here. He was a heel, and he never knew it. He tried to be a pretty boy. You see what I mean? And then when he started seeing me going with the money and shit like that, he said, damn, wait a minute. You see what I mean? And from that day on, he started making money. Plus, this guy here, he knows how to work. See, a lot of people don't know about working. But this guy here can he can take a nobody, put him in the ring, and make him overnight. And that's how Sullivan was. And there's not too many Sullivans.
Well, the same thing with you, Abdullah. There's not too many Abdullahs. There's only one. And let me tell you something. Abdullah, in my mind, okay, Dobashi, in my mind,
yes,
I've seen a lot of things for a long time. I've seen a lot of great angles. Abdullah was involved in the greatest angle of all times.
Which was that?
When Carlos Colon got beat up in Puerto Rico by Hanson and Brody, and Carlos Colon and Abdullah had probably wrestled 10 years in bloodbaths, everything, through nothing but money. I always try to get my fight. I was working in Florida a lot then, and I call people and say, Puerto Rico, I say, hey, when's Abdullah and Carlos working? He said, well, they're working on the big show. So Dutch Mantel would be booking, or Luke Williams, who's a real good friend of mine. I'd say, Luke, put me on that big show with Carlos and Abdullah, will you? I'll work with whoever you want me. Hercules Ayala, I had a little deal with him. He said, sure, I'll add you the card. Because I knew I was going to get a big payoff. But when they did this angle, they did it so right. Carlos flew to Abdullah's house. Abdullah's man opened the door. He goes to slam the door on Carlos's foot. Carlos puts his foot in the door. He's got a Halliburton case. He comes down. Abdullah and him are looking at each other. He opens it, puts it on the desk, opens it. It's full of money. They turned away more people than they got in the building, probably twice as many people. I know because Abdullah was trying to find sheets and have one of his jabronis put up a sheet and film it and charge people $10 outside so he could pocket the extra money. It was the best. It was the best angle ever. And he was a baby face and over, and all he had to do, Carlos was sullen, and he tagged Abby, and Abby came in and did his karate real quick. Oh, place blew. He did nothing. Had to do nothing. He was over so big. I mean, he's just drawn everywhere he's ever been. But I mean, everywhere, all through the United States, Japan, New Zealand, Australia, Singapore, Hong Kong, you name it, wherever he's been, he's drawn great big money. And the exceptional thing is, he got over such a big-time man from Sudan, the man of mystery, that's the heel road, but he could switch babyface in one night if he was paid as a henchman. People could pay him as a henchman. And that's what made Abdullah the unique thing he was. He never changed his style when he became that babyface chasing the heel. He never changed his style. And I learned a lot by watching him. I mean, I thought, okay, he sells. People say he doesn't sell. He does sell, but he doesn't oversell. Abdullah, I never watch my stuff anymore on TV, YouTube or stuff. But I watched the match. I watched the match with me and Mark against the Giant in Moscow in Aloha Stadium. Okay, and I started laughing at myself because I said, I'm taking less bumps for the Giant than Abdullah did. And that was impossible. That was impossible. And at the end, I didn't get beat. I threw your partner in the Giant's face and left him. I thought, oh, my God. And that's why I watched it, because Dobashi had told me we were going to talk, so I want to go back and look at some stuff. Yeah. And Dobashi, in 1975, he told me I was going to Japan with him, right? I can pull the wings off of flies with chopsticks now. I'm still waiting to go to be his partner over there. Oh wow!
Sullivan, let me tell you something. When I get my hip done, I'll tell you, I would like to sit down with you, because they don't have too many promoters out here who know how to promote to draw money. And I'll tell you, with you, me, and Kabashi, and a few other baby faces, we could draw a lot of money. Because the guys who they have the day and time, it's like a TNA or whatever they got. They got all that good talent, but everybody wants to be what? They want to be a chief. Nobody wants to be, to go out there to make the money. They don't want to do it that way. They just want to, go in there, oh, no, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. You see what I mean? And, these are the things why we've been around for so long. And as soon as I get my hip done, it can always be the same thing all over again. And that's all we need is a partner, and we can do anything we want to do. I mean, Tokyo keeps saying that, doing the operation, get the damn operation, come back. But the main part about it, people don't know how to work.
Exactly. Exactly. I don't mean to cut you off, but I'm just going to say one little thing. Dobashi, how many times have I told you, when I see a babyface jump in the ring and turn his back to a heel, how many times have I said to you, how long do you think that babyface would be on that second rope with his back turned if it was Abdullah in the ring? I said
he would have jumped on it. He would have jumped on him in a split second.
He would have killed him. The guy would have been juiced to death. It would have been over. I mean, you're right, Abby. They get no concept of work, and they're great athletes. They're just going to be shown.
So, Sullivan,
yes,
you remember the time? Yes. You remember the time? Who was it? The guy got there, and he went into the ring, and they said, every time I went into a territory, I said, listen, you guys are on top now, but I'm going to overpower you. And they kept saying to me, what do you mean overpower? I said, I'm going to the top. I'm going to make the money. You understand?
Yeah.
And every time I wrestled, like if somebody says, Abdullah, you're wrestling, Sullivan, the first thing I say, oh, what a night off. You understand what I mean? But he used to beat me to death when he gave me those karate chops to the head. He was trying to kill me. I'm telling you. All those little stories, like what he told you, they're true. But you know what it was? He used to try to hit me hard. And I didn't want to say nothing. You understand? Because I was scared he might beat me up or something like that. But this guy knows how to work. I mean, he's a hell of a worker. And the same thing with you, Kabashi. We could make so much money, you, me, and him, with a few other guys, because we know how to work. Why do you think in New York and all this here shit is falling? They never had Sullivan in New York.
No.
I mean, now can you imagine if he went to New York and all of a sudden like he took any top guy and went in there and started beating the shit out of him and right off the bat beat him real fast? That means what? He can draw any. People would come to see him and say, "Damn, did you see that guy beat this top guy?" Right. You see, but they don't know how to do that no more. You see what I mean? And that's it.
It's too much cookie cutter now. Everyone's the same.
Abby. And Abby just said something. Here's the thing. Here's what the miss. When Abby was on TV, Dobashi, right?
Right.
The opponents in the ring, the doors would fly open. Whatever he used to say, in Arabic, and he'd be coming down the aisle, tossing shit. That red, what's that thing, Gaddafi or whatever it is? In his boots, keffiyeh, his red keffiyeh flowing. He's got the boots. He's got his hands taped. By the time he hit the ring, the people were up on their feet, okay? This is for TV. Then he would go in and destroy a guy, okay? He would destroy a guy, kill him. He only needed 2 times to be seen on TV. Then they put him with Tommy Rich. He was only on TV twice. They booked him with Tommy Rich, another deal. They turned almost as many people away as they grew in the building because he knew how to get over. He was the real deal. It wasn't that he went 15, 20 minutes with the same guy every week and they beat. They got to be, and Abby, see if you think I'm right. They got to be a caste system. They got to be the guys that open up who are great technicians, and then there's got to be that middle ground where the guys mix wrestling and meat chopping and high spots. Then at the end, there's got to be the Abdullahs, the Sheiks, and the Brodies. The people pay to see that.
That's it.
It's that simple. It's really that simple. How many people did you ever see? If you ever watch Abdullah's matches, you hear these heels saying, "Well, I've been stabbed 27 times, and I've been hit with boards, and I've been punched in the face." Yeah, Abby might have been stabbed a couple of times, but that was probably in Puerto Rico. When he went through the audience dragging Carlos Colon or Terry Funk or the Sheik or Kamala or myself or Dusty or Blackjack, you can go on down the line. When he was dragging you through the aisles, those people were partying. They weren't going to take any chance. You know what I mean? I knew I was safe with Abdullah. They weren't going to come after me at all. The waves were parted. If I did it with a regular baby face, boy, I'd have my hands full. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
He had that mystique where, there's something different about this guy. He doesn't fit. What's wrong with this picture? This guy looks legit. This guy doesn't wrestle like the other guys. He doesn't do those high spots that we've seen 1,000 times.
That's it. That's it.
That's how it went. Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. one time, you remember the time like when the Blackjack Mulligan, remember Blackjack Mulligan?
Yes.
Blackjack could beat anybody, right?
Yeah.
So one day, I got up there and I was working with, Blackjack, boy, bam, 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 we were doing our shit. And all of a sudden, he started chasing me, right? And when he chased me, I went back into the thing, and you know what I said? I just joked with Jack because I liked him. I says, did you see me overpower him? But when I said overpower, I meant overpowering him in running. And he came to me. You know what he done? He came to me. I said, yes, sir. He says, listen to me. I can beat you anytime I want, and I can catch you anytime I want. And I said, Jack, but I'm only joking. I'm only joking about the running. He said, oh, okay then. All right, Ab, take it easy. But he was a man, you understand? And you know this yourself. Nobody messed with him, Blackjack Mulligan.
No, nobody.
And he was a gentleman. And any promoter or any booker who tried to mess over his kids, what would happen? He'd come into the territory and say to the guy, to the booker, oh, I got to whip your ass tonight.
Oh, yeah.
So that was it. I had to tell the story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
he was a near giant himself,
Oh, yes.
One time, they brought me and Marky were partners, and we had been working with Mulligan and Dusty, but they brought the Road Warriors in for the first time.
Yeah.
So they said to me, Mulligan, we got to Orlando, and I told Paul Ellering came over and said, well, what's the finish? And I said, double DQ, double count out, double DQ. He said, well, the Warriors got to go over. I said, it didn't happen. I said, we'll work something out next time he come in. So the reason why was Mulligan pulled me aside and said, hey, I've been selling for you for 6 months. If you go out there and look like a jabroni, I ain't going to sell for you again. So here's the thing, Abby, you'll love this. I have American Bat, and he gets bounced around a little. He tags me. And, Animal, he did that flying tackle thing. Off the ropes where he's flying tackle. He did a big spear. He comes in, I hit him one time. He goes to throw me in the ropes, and I reverse it for him to give me that flying tackle. As I'm coming off the ropes, he's coming off the ropes. I stopped about 3 feet short. He just looks like he's trying to swim to me, right? He falls flat in his face. Me and Marky jumped on him for fear of our lives because we're stopping him and we're looking in the back where the baby faces are, and there's Mulligan just smiling and nodding his head. We knew we might have a chance with the Road Warriors, but Mulligan would have killed both of us, But he was a gentleman too, like you said, Abby.
Yep. But the main part about it though, was this. Sullivan, the Road Warriors had so much push for those guys, but see, we knew how to work. We know how to get it done. You see what I mean? And it's the same thing like today. See, the business has too many guys. They have too many what? Circus. Everything they have is guys doing acrobats and doing this. You see, but guys like me and Sullivan, Lewin, and all of us, we are what? We are businessmen. And the kind of businessmen we are, we would take a fat guy who weighs maybe like Calhoun, right? We are the circus, but we did not fly over the top rope. We did not do the same thing the same night. If one guy jumped up to a drop kick, nobody else threw a drop kick. You see what I mean?
Right.
Everybody had their own style. Sullivan had his own style. Nobody would try to pick up his style because they couldn't get over with his style. You understand? It's the same thing with me. Right. My style was my style. You see? And, that is the key what people got to realize. The wrestlers, maybe the wrestling business is dying, But when we come back, listen to me, Sullivan. When I get my hip done, I'm going to look you up. I don't give a damn how old you are. We are going to promote me, you, and Kabashi. Because Kabashi, if he listens, you understand, we can draw a lot of money. A lot of money. Big money.
Yeah, and I've seen him perform. He's very good. I don't know how he's learned what he's learned with, no teachers out there. And he looks really good, and he gives it his all, and he really loves the business. So I think, when you get your hip done.
Oh yes, believe me.
Thank you.
We can make Solomon. We can make so much money. It's unbelievable. Because hey, let me tell you what happened. Puerto Rico, Carlos called me and said, Abdullah, tell me something, please. I said, what's that? He says, I need something different. I said, what do you mean different? He said, they're not drawing. I said, okay. You and Invader go back and wrestle each other. He said, damn, I wrestled him over 150 million times. I said, do me a favor, please. Wrestle Invader and see what happens. You know what they done? They wrestled to sort the building out. You hear me?
Really?
The people want to see what? They want to see action. Remember that. They want to see action.
Ago. That was pretty recently, too.
Yeah. It was the same thing like when I used to call Carlos, bring in Kabashi. He said, yeah, but I said, but just use him. Let him get over. And if he don't, get over, then, push him out. But the main part about he's going to get over.
I appreciate it. When I went to Puerto Rico about a year ago, wrestled for this other promotion, and they saw that. What's that? No, it was
called the WWL, right?
It was RWA. Yeah. Anyways, they saw what I did to Abdullah at his restaurant, and I already got I was over there, and what I wanted to say though, what I take pride in, I learned from you watching you two and the original Sheiks, and like I said, I was grateful enough to get to pick both of your brains. I consider you my brothers. When I go in there, everyone says, oh, wrestling's fake, this and that. When I go in there, I have my own style also, but when I go in there, they look at me, and I take pride in it because they'll say, no, well, that's real.
Right.
I do something totally different, and I take pride in that. If people don't know, that's great. I'm doing something right.
Well,
I just want to say thank you.
Well, thank you. But let me tell you something, Dobashi. You think people paid sellout buildings night after night with Abdullah because they thought he was fake? No. It was the other way around. They thought this was a real thing. They want to see somebody. They knew someone was going to bleed. They didn't know if it was going to be salt, fireball, if he was going to drag someone to the top of the bleachers and throw them on the bleachers. People, it wasn't just a wrestling match when he wrestled. It was an event. They wanted to say, hey, I was there that night that Abdullah did whatever Abdullah did that night. You know what I'm saying? He made it where it was, all this bullshit you hear about must-see TV. He was must-see wrestling. You know what I mean? Him and the Sheik, Terry, Marky. There was there was a connection there between a lot of us, but Abdullah even could take it a step more. I don't know how to describe it. My first experience that I ever saw where I said, whoa, was when I was a kid. I had wrestled amateur. I knew it was all bull, and I saw the Sheik, and I went, whoa, this is real. But, there was a group of us, and, but Abdullah, out through I think everybody. I mean, and that's the biggest compliment I can give, because some of us who are bookers and put ourselves in position, you know, Marky, myself, Brody, Funk, the Sheik, Abdullah never was in that spot where he penciled his own name in. He was, like I said, when I was in Florida, if I saw that he was going to wrestle, and Luke Williams would call me, say, hey, Abby's on the card with Carlos, or Abby's on the card with one of the Funks, I'd say, hey, can you book me against Hercules Ayala? I'll do a couple of interviews, because I knew I was going to get a payday. You know what I mean? And, hey, when promoters are asking you, calling you and asking you what to do for their territory, well, that means that you were such an important part of their territory that you were carrying it on the back. Like he carried Puerto Rico for 20 years, 25 years. And, you know, that's what you got to, you know, you got to respect these guys that drew money for a long time.
Now, do you think the territories will ever come back?
Sure, they'll come back. What are you talking about? They die every 10 years. I mean, what's happening? Like, let me tell you something. What's happening, like in New York? The old man, the same thing happened to him. Like he went broken, like in New York. You understand? But everything comes back. Nothing. Listen, you have like the generation, right? In 10 years, if somebody's 7 years old now, they're going to be 17 years old. You get new people all the time, new fans, new this. But you got to give the people something what they want. If you look in New York right now, I mean, what's happening? The fans are overpowering the wrestlers because they're painting their face, they're doing this and they're doing that. You see what I mean?
Right.
And so the people in the stands are saying, what? We are the show too. And that's it. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So this is what you got. This is what you got to realize. Like if Sullivan jumps up and he throws like a karate chop to your head, you understand what I mean? The people say woo. Mm-hmm. Or like if he gives you a chop, he doesn't chop you 20 times, because when the people go woo, you can't go no higher than that. You see what I mean? Right. And this is it. And this is what the guys don't understand. They cannot sit down and work it. They cannot do it. You see what I mean? And you don't have too many professionals. You got a guy like we were talking. You take Stan Hansen. You take Bruiser Brody. You take Terry Funk. You take Dory Funk. You wrestle them, and you can do what? You can draw so much money. It's unbelievable. You see? Right. You take a guy like Sullivan. If they would let Sullivan go in there right now, even with TNA, go in there and do his shit and beat the shit out of a couple of top guys, the place they'd pack the places. But they're scared of him. You see what I mean? They fear him. Or if he might do this here, he might do that, or he might go out onto the floor, or he might, and people don't. You see, Sullivan is a businessman. You understand? And this is what you got to bring back. And I swear, as long as I get my hip done, I'm coming back. I'm telling you, I'm coming back. So that's it.
That boy. That's what I want to see.
I got an email for you guys from Dan Cooler from Lackawanna, New York. And he writes, Abdullah and Kevin Sullivan, do you have any memories back in the NWA Georgia wrestling days? Anything that stood out? And who do you guys think are the legitimate badasses then and now?
Who's what?
Who basically any fond memories back in the Georgia Championship Wrestling days, and any memories that stick out, and who were legitimate badasses?
What do you mean? You mean who could produce?
Legitimately tough, that no one wants to mess with anyone.
Nobody wants to mess with them?
Who's legitimately tough? badasses, as in wrestlers,
Well,
in and out of the ring.
We said
Let me tell you
Blackjack and Haku.
Let me tell you something. A lot of job men who do favors for us, they ain't pushovers. They can whip your ass when anytime they want to whip your ass. You got guys like Lou Thez, you understand? And I always call him Mr. Thez. You got, guys like Blackjack Mulligan. You got guys like, you got so many guys who can fight and beat the shit out of you if they want to. You understand? And, Sullivan is no pushover. I mean, like, if somebody's going to get cute with him, he's going to say, hey, let's go. You know what I mean? I've never seen him back down from nobody. Never. And I've been knowing this guy for so damn long, it's unbelievable. You see what I mean? And he's still the same way. I mean, nobody ever tried to go out there and, like, eat him up or make him look like a fool. But maybe that when he first started, he let him do it, but after that, he got smart. And that's it.
Yeah.
Now,
even today...
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
And then it's
Evan.
And then any good memories that stuck out in the Georgia Championship Wrestling days?
Anything that sticks out?
I got one real quick, Abby. It wasn't in Georgia Championship Wrestling that made us all laugh. It's in Stan Hansen's book, and he laughs about it. There's me and Abdullah against Funk and Hansen. All four of us just come in and out of ECW, right, for a couple of shots.
Uh-huh.
So all four of us are working for different companies in Japan. So Paulie comes in and says, I don't care who does the job, but I got to get a 1, 2, 3. Paulie leaves the building, leaves the room. We all start laughing, right? Because we all knew no one was going to do the job, because we all, not that we wouldn't for each other, but we all were coming in for this, to take some money off the table, but our jobs were in Japan, so we had a wild set to. But I'm going to tell you the funniest story that I can ever tell, and I'm going to tell you this story.
Okay.
We have a four-way, this is about 10 years ago, they bring back Dusty, me, Abdullah, and Terry Funk, okay? In Davie, Florida. I pull up to Davie, Florida, and I can't believe it. I said, I must be at the wrong place. There's a line wrapped around the building, okay? So they did, this is legit, you can check it, they did over 3,500 people paid, and there was big paid because they started to do a DVD, right?
Uh-huh.
So it was at a rodeo arena, and there was only one real dressing room, and they put the four of us in the dressing room. So I see Terry and Abby talking in the corner, and Abdullah says to me, Sullivan, you got to tell the promoter we won 5 more because they're going to videotape this, and we didn't know it. I said, I didn't know it either. He said, well, tell me we won $500 more apiece. I said, okay. Now, the promoter comes in, and I said to him, listen. I said, his name is Bobby. I said, listen, Bobby, you didn't tell us we were going to videotape this thing. You guys are going to make money off these DVDs. We want 5 more apiece. And he looked at me kind of strange and says, well, I got to send the guy to my house and get some money. And that's crazy. He's got this big house up there. So he goes, he leaves, we come back, we work, all 4 of us come back. Now, we've been paid earlier money, right? He goes back and says, here, I got your 5 for you. He gives us it. I'm watching Abby open his eyes go wider, and pop out of his head. The guy gave us $5,000 a piece more.
Wow. Wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Then you had the guy, what's his name? Dusty Rhodes, I said, Dusty, you know, the guy wants to give us 5, and Dusty says, 5, oh, yeah, I said, 5,000. Dusty says, oh, listen now, however you want us to help you promote this gig.
Yeah.
He started chewing the tobacco. But that was it, though. That was the best.
Yeah.
Nice.
That was the best. Sir, that's it.
Yeah.
We have another email. Scarlett Bowen from SeaTac, Washington. What were some of the classic ribs you've seen or done, and have you ever gotten ribbed yourself?
We've all been ribbed ourselves, but I mean, it was classic. I think Fuji was the worst. I saw him one time. This is when they were really lax on planes. He used to drive Professor Tanaka crazy. Tanaka's reading the paper on the plane, and Fuji lights the paper on fire from the bottom. Tanaka's got his seatbelt on. He almost burnt up trying to put the paper out. Yeah. There's some
and this was on a plane? On an airplane? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any good there's another email, Johnny C. from Pontiac, Michigan. Do you have any interesting original Chic stories or Brian Pillman stories?
Well, the best story that I can tell was about the Sheik. One time the Sheik was in Texas, and the Sheik had the snake, and he was up there, showing it to the people. Yeah, let me kill you. Now the snake what he had was a small snake. Now the people in Texas have been seeing rattlesnakes and all that shit like that. And they chased it. They all got together, and the Sheik started moving because the people was not moving, like when he was trying to scare them with the snake. You understand? And and then like another time, like when the Sheik went to throw some fire, like he had the lighter, and like he had his headpiece on, and he was going poof, and it wouldn't go off. So when he got back to the dressing room, like he went and took the fire, and he lit the lighter, boom, boom, and his damn his headpiece went up in pieces. She goes, yeah, let me see that. Yeah, that was the best one though. That was the best.
Yeah.
That was the best.
And I had one with Brian Pillman. Everybody thought that angle on Brian Pillman. They're still not to this day sure what it was, but Pillman was a terrific worker. Abdullah, did you get to work with Brian when he was
Brian? Yeah, Pillman, yeah.
Oh yeah, you would have had an incredible match with him because I mean it's good and evil, it's Beauty and the Beast. Brian was a guy that made the most of his size.
Yeah.
He died way too young because he was also a smart guy, but he was a great baby face, but then we became the loose cannon. But Brian, he got a chance to work with, I always call them teachers, Abdullah, Lewin, Curtis, the Funks, you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
And Brian is a baby face. Mike Graham critiqued his matches, and Mike was a great baby face, right, Abby?
Right,
and, if you want to get heat, Mike Graham was the guy you got the heat on, boy. And Brian Pillman sold like Mike. And then when he became a heel, he became a cocky, arrogant heel, and he didn't try to overpower you or really change his style much. It just became what came out of his mouth got him over, just like the sight of Abdullah was what got Abdullah over, because you knew as soon as the doors opened up, something was going to happen. Well, Brian, as soon as he opened his mouth, you knew something was going to happen.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Hey, Abdullah,
yes.
Sign Guy, he's from another podcast, and he wanted me to tell you that he was over at your restaurant,
and he had the fish there, and he wanted to know what kind of fish did you guys use because he loved it. He was putting it over to everybody.
It was whitey.
What's it called?
Whitey
fish?
Yeah, like a white man, whitey.
Oh, okay. Okay. Maybe that's why he liked it, because he says, whitey as he could come, too. Fine guy, that's a shout-out to you. He was putting over that fish he had like he was making out with it. Now, well, we got an interesting one from Matt Jones from Atlanta, Georgia, and he says, this is for Kevin Sullivan. I don't know if it's a work or not. I don't care to know, but I think Dobashi was wrong for attacking Abdullah at his restaurant. I see you do some crazy stuff, Mr. Sullivan. Do you condone what Dobashi did?
Well, yeah, I do, because, sometimes you're not there. What's his name? What's the kid's name?
Matt Jones. Matt Jones.
Listen, you weren't there. Yeah, you weren't there. You don't know what happened. And the other thing is, I'm enjoying talking to Abdullah now, but maybe he said something out of turn. Maybe he shouldn't have talked to Dobashi that way. So I know that Abdullah knows what's going on with him and you. But yeah, do I condone it? Of course I do.
Well, thank you. You know what happened was...
Sullivan, you used to do the same thing. You were just like this little Dobashi. You were the same way. Yeah. You always stuck and done something. Nobody knew what you were doing. A lot of stuff that I know what you've done. A lot of stuff. You understand? We used to take, a little bit of, salt. You used to take a little bit of pepper. You understand? And then when the guy was getting the best out of you, what did you do? You rubbed it into his eyes. A lot of shit like that. But a lot of people didn't know. How many guys did you send to the hospital?
Well,
you're not innocent. So, Sullivan, you're not innocent. So don't be handing me this crap. Don't be talking that shit.
Okay, I'm just saying that you got you got the same kind of thing going, Abdullah. You probably aggravated a kid and you started something with him. I don't know.
Well, you know what happened? I was at his restaurant for the first time to visit him, and well, right now, me and Chief, we're together. We're teamed up now. But we had blab bus all over at the time, all over the country, and Abdullah knew how much I hated him, and Abdullah shook his hand, which I took it as disrespect. Shook my hand in front of him, and I asked him why he did it, and I ended up attacking him. It's all over YouTube and stuff. So he did.
I was in a wheelchair. You hear me? Sullivan.
Yeah.
If you would have been there, you'd have beat the shit out of Dobashi yourself. He jumped me in a wheelchair.
Well,
you hear me, Sullivan?
Yeah.
I wish that you would fight this guy for me, even before I get my hip. Do me the favor.
Okay.
Kick this Dobashi's ass for me, please. Kick his behind for me, please. And make sure and listen, do me a favor. I want you to have a wheelchair match. Have the wheelchair in the corner. You understand?
Okay.
And put the handcuffs on him. And when you put the handcuffs on him, I just want you to stay there and just pound him in the face, stab him in the face, and keep saying, this is where I do it, this is where I do it. And then when you're finished, take the walker and tip it over. And take some paint. I want some yellow paint and throw it all over him, because that's how yellow he is for what he done to me. Now do me a favor. Come up with that match. Come up with that match. Come up with that match.
Dobashi, sounds like we're going to have to get this book, because Abdullah and I go back a long way, longer than you and me, so we'll have to get that book.
Get the wheelchair!
Abdullah!
Have the wheelchair match! You hear me, Sullivan? Sullivan!
Yes, I do.
Get the wheelchair! To have the wheelchair match! And the first guy that, when you put him in the wheelchair, make sure that you have a handcuff that he can't get out. And just beat the living shit out of him for me, please.
Can I
do that for me.
I will.
You'll pack the place. You'll pack the place. And make sure that I'm there. Make sure I'm there. You hear me?
Yeah,
Make
we
sure
know
I'm
you're
there.
there. For sure.
All right?
Okay. The thing is,
I don't want to talk no more. I don't want to talk no more. You're getting me pissed off. Sullivan, do me that favor. You got your legs. You got your arms. I want you to have please, have that match. Have that match. Okay. Put him in the wheelchair. But he doesn't be Sullivan. Okay. Sullivan, we fought many times. Sullivan, you got to do this for me, please. And bring me in.
I will, Abby.
But pay my pay fare. Okay. I
Yeah.
gotta go. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm just getting stuff.
hey,
Bye.
it looks like he hung up.
Okay.
He looked. Hey, Mr. Sullivan. You know, I've been to Puerto Rico. The fans been begging me to come back on social media. I dare Carlos Colon and his promotion, or the IGWA, El Dragon Supremo, book this. Sullivan, all due respects, I know you'll have to back up Abdullah. I'll take you on too. It doesn't matter. In fact, we could take this bloodbath all over from Puerto Rico to any promotion in Japan. Let's make this happen. You promoters out there, make this happen. Under the beast in the Middle East, the Yemeni American, the modern day Sheikh, Diafullah, the Butcher, Dobashi. I'm going to kill Kulahum. Mr. Sullivan.
Okay,
Abdullah the Butcher.
You just
I took Abdullah.
Yeah, you just.
I
you
took
just
Abdullah
signed
the
it.
Butcher out.
You get it signed. Okay, you get it signed, and we'll get Abdullah the Butcher to fly in to watch this debacle. Okay.
We will. Okay, you know what? I'm the only one that took Abdullah out. Carlos Colon, late great Bruiser Broly. Even you, Kevin Sullivan, you couldn't do it, but I did.
Well, we'll see. Okay, I'm getting off the phone now before I get too hot. I'll be hoping I hear from a promoter soon. Okay, bye.
Okay, promoters, book this. Book this.
Huss.
Wow, that just got heated. I apologize. I don't know where it went wrong, but like I said, I want to say thanks for Kevin Sullivan and Abdullah to come onto this show. I'm lost for words. We'll be right back with my song pick of the week after words from our sponsors. And just everyone remember this. Carlos Colon couldn't do it. The late, great Bruiser Brody couldn't do it. Hulk Hogan couldn't even do it. Mr. Sullivan couldn't do it, but I did. I put Abdullah the Butcher out.
Who are you? Gary the Retard. And what are you listening to? Dobashi's talk show. No, Dobashi's radio. Take down. Huss.
This is Diafullah, the Butcher Dobashi. Please share, follow, and or subscribe on iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and on most of your major podcast platforms. That way you'll get notifications and you will not miss a single daily spit. I am also ordained, and I can marry you and give you all your blessing needs. Send your booking requests to DobashiBookings@gmail.com. For all the links, go to lyricalspit.com. And I'll talk with you tomorrow with my daily message, my daily spit.
Help keep this show free by buying some of our swag of apparel at butcherspit.com. We have t-shirts, hoodies, and even baby onesies. That's butcherspit.com.